Don't you just hate the winter? You're stuck inside from the snow, you're depleted of energy, and need your vitamin D, or more like vitamin C. And you know what kind of C I'm talking about? Dun, 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 dun! Dun, dun! The original Contra kicked so much ass there was no left to kick. But then came Super Contra, which was like 1,000 angels in your pants singing hallelujah. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better than this, a whole new console, the Super Nintendo, descended from the heavens and bestowed upon humanity Contra 3. My God, this rocks! By now, we were thinking, can you imagine what they got cooking for Contra 4? And then later, that same year of '92, we did get another Contra game. A little too soon, perhaps. Maybe they should have let it cook a little longer. Anyway, let's get to the game. The follow-up to Contra 3. Let's pop this in. Oh, wait a minute. Something's wrong here. What's this? We're going back to NES? Yeah. Now, just to be clear, there existed good NES games after the launch of the Super Nintendo, but doesn't it feel like a step back? Well, no worries. I mean, it has the Nintendo seal of quality. It's made by Konami, so as long as it's good as the first two, no worries. The game starts up and there you go, Contra Force. You look at that familiar logo and think, cool, we're in good hands, right? Now we have a character select screen. Well, that's new, kinda cool, but what's the deal with this guy's nose? He looks like a clown. Seriously though, what's the reason? And this other guy's named Beans. What kind of name is that? I guess it would make more sense if the other three characters were named Pork, Rice, and Sauce. Anyway, we start up level 1 and something is off. The graphics are still pretty nice for NES, but the characters are off style with its previous 8-bit predecessors. I mean, you're running around in a life preserver jacket like Marty McFly. This must be an entirely different game engine. We are not in Kansas anymore because holy does this not look or feel anything like Contra. You can only squat, unlike the other Contras where you can get down in a military prone position. Unless you pick Beans, they made it so he's the only character that can go prone for some stupid reason. Also, while you can still shoot diagonally, you cannot shoot down diagonal while running. That is a pretty specific limitation. Then there's the slowdown. Look at this. I'm getting lag like I'm dredging through pea soup. That's right, hot-boiled. Why am I moving so slow? Wait, now it's blasting me across the screen at light speed. Make up your mind already. Slow, fast, slow, fast. It's like a modern action movie where everything slows down to bullet time and then speeds up again. Wow. Maybe that's what they were going for. Actually, probably not. All I can say is it happens at the worst times and ruins your day. I'm sliding down this slope and my ass is sticking to it like it's a hot slide. Kind of like the Jackie Chan movie, Who Am I? Except now in slow motion. And don't adjust that dial, kids. That's not your screen. This game has a serious flickering issue. It's borderline seizure-inducing. You know, I'm beginning to think there might be something wrong with this game. Yeah, I wonder. Was it called Contra Force because they forced it out? Or forced it in like shoving a rhino turd into your ass? It's as if the previous Contra game served as a countdown to when the diarrhea floodgates would burst open. But now, let me tell you this game's true history. Or story. In 1991, a game known as Ark Hound was planned for release in Japan, but was cancelled because the that this hound left was too smelly. Konami scooped up the bagged it, and threw it in the garbage can. Then some jokester took the bag of wrote Contra Force on it, shipped it to America, and we got it in our faces. It infiltrated our beloved Contra franchise like a big Trojan horse. You. In short, it's not a Contra game.
Surprised?
So now you're probably thinking, okay, it's a disappointing game because it's compared to Contra when it wasn't originally meant to be a Contra game. Well, Yeah, that's part of it, but hang tight, and you'll see why this game would still disappoint even if it was called Action 50 Force. It's deceivingly bad. It looks okay, and I will say it has some interesting ideas. First is the weapon upgrades, which don't work like other Contra games. Here, instead of picking up a weapon and instantly gaining the ability, you have to collect these glowing briefcases and build up your meter until you have enough energy for the weapon you want. It's kind of similar to Gradius, where you can unlock weapons and activate different abilities depending on the amount of power-ups you have saved up. This is the biggest curveball this game throws at you. Even when you select your character, you think all these guys are going to have different weapons, but it's the same pea shooter that doesn't even reach across the screen and doesn't even give the damn courtesy to give a reach around. So sometimes you're in a area and can't hit the enemies. Otherwise, your bullets just fizzle out like farts on a windy day. And do not get the grenades. This is worse than the fire weapon in the original Contra. Look at the arc on this thing. I can't hit anything. And the explosions don't even hurt anybody. Are you kidding me? You need to actually hit them with the grenade itself? You might as well be throwing rocks. Could you imagine watching a war movie and the grenades are totally ineffective unless they hit someone right over the head? The other mechanism in this game that takes time to understand is how to select the other characters. You can swap between them, sort of like in Ninja Turtles, but you can also call in one of your buddies to fight alongside you as an AI character. But first of all, the game can't handle this. Everything starts flickering and going ape. And the other problem is they can only last for 5 seconds. I'm not kidding, 5 seconds. And then you gotta pause the game, go back into the menu, and call them again. So you're spending more time in the menu than actually playing the game. What's the point of this buddy system anyway when the buddy doesn't help at all? A real buddy would be somebody to talk you out of playing the game. Let it go, man. Just put the controller down. Let it go. It's not worth it. All right, let's get down to the Level 1 is among the hardest levels in the NES library. It took me hours just to finish the stage. And there is no 30 live code, just as February doesn't have 30 days. It got screwed over. The first big happens when you run into these smashing pillars, right out of Castlevania. Well, Contra had them too, but see, I thought of Castlevania first, because this game ain't Contra. But if you look at the other Contra games, you'll know they had a pattern. Yeah, a pattern! But is there any pattern here? No, it's just a free-for-all. Why do these things exist anyway? Do the bad guys use them to compact their trash or something? The timing is just all over the place. Most often I just die and use the brief invincibility to run past. Oh, what the f? Now I'm stuck on the edge of the screen. It's like the game can't keep up. The enemies keep appearing right in front of me. I mean, can the screen adjust already? And I can't go back to fix it because I'll get smashed by the pillars. After I get through that nightmare, the game ratchets up my blood pressure by pulling another trope out of the turd box. Fans over a spike pit. Classic. Of course there's an enemy shooting at me as I'm floating through the air. Too bad my bullets can't reach him before I jump. Did I take some fizzy lifting drink or something? The problem is, that first fan, you're floating and you think everything's fine, but that middle area with the spikes, gravity comes back and says, hey, you owe me. I mean, with all seriousness, what do you think would happen if you tried to float over a bed of spikes? Huh? What would happen? Floating over fans, though? Yeah, that's indoor skydiving. That's real. You can actually do that. You know, that guy looks familiar. But anyway, the point is, flying over fans is something that actually works in real life. But flying over spikes, I'm willing to bet, wouldn't be a very popular activity. The reason why it's unexpected in this game is because that first fan is giving you the upwards momentum and you think that's enough to get you over the spikes, but instead it just blows you all over the place, just like this game is blowing. And if you don't land on the bottom spikes, you can be sure you're getting launched up to the ceiling spikes. And not to mention, I'm getting shot at. Look, the rocket missed me by the skin of my gonads. I managed to kill the enemy, but then I landed on the spikes. Hang on. I'm starting to realize there's a third fan. Yeah, can you find it? Look for the third fan. Take a good hard look and tell me, where do you think that third fan is? Well, it's right up there. You'd never know because it's nothing like the others. Well, that one is blowing me horizontally, which means this game blows every which way. That's what you need to get over the spikes. But if you accidentally shoot out that third fan, you're Wait, shooting the fans? Can you do that to the bottom fans? Oh my God. What? You can just shoot them and then walk over it? You can just shoot them and just walk over it. Never in my wildest dreams would I have guessed that. But here we are. And listen, I'm not complaining. I just cannot believe such a difficult obstacle can be thwarted this easily. Next, you're going to tell me those godforsaken pillars can be destroyed. Wait a damn minute. You could just shoot them too? Oh my God, why did I put up with all this damn bullshit? How did I not realize this sooner? Man, they present it as a real obstacle when you can just blow it up. I think I'm dealing with a legitimate gameplay challenge here. But no, the game's just with me, making a horse's out of me, and it's me off! Maybe that's why the game slows down. There's so many destructible objects on the screen, even boxes and things you would think are just background. Then the boss comes and kills me instantly. But hang on, watch the replay. Did he just trip and fall on me? The boss killed me by accident! So let's discuss one other thing here. Not that he looks like Crocodile Dundee if he were wearing all green, but many of the characters, mainly the bosses, are oversized human beings. I don't get it. Are they supposed to be real people or some kind of mutant giants? It's as if you and your friends are playing with action figures like G.I. Joe or something, but they're totally different scales. It doesn't make sense that they can interact, but you just use your imagination and roll with it. There aren't any aliens or robots in this game, which would have actually made more sense, funny enough. And by the way, what's with this guy? He's tugging his gun. He's off. Level 2 is so much easier, and it's one of those top-down stages. Hey, look, I moved the character off the screen. That's something new. It's kind of creepy, actually, almost like he could escape my TV. Stay in there, buddy. Stay in there. This game reminds me more of Ikari Warriors than Contra. It even has the guns. And this is great right here. I can't even see my character. How am I supposed to play like this? And I imagine this is exactly what the inside of a nuclear sub looks like. Yeah, the brick flooring, I bet, is perfectly accurate. Also, you gotta love when the boss takes like 400 hits. Jeez, you think they made this guy strong enough? Just die already! Level 3 is back to side-scrolling, and the first big off is this elevator. My first problem with it is that it leaves without me. Jeez, you can't even wait 2 seconds? And then when it reaches the top, it explodes. Well, that's some real elevator design. Imagine an elevator that only goes up once and explodes. Next problem, there's guys firing homing missiles at you, which you can't dodge because you're on a elevator. If you leave the screen, all the enemies respawn and you gotta do all that again. It's the epitome of So you're able to climb these chains, but not the ladders on the first stage. That makes a lot of sense. Oh God, and then wait till you have to jump and reach that swinging hook. Come on. Come on! Okay, now you gotta jump on this moving platform. What the It exploded? This is a sick joke. You wanna know the real way to do this? You gotta leave one box to make the screen go up higher so you can jump on the platform before it blows up. It's almost like you have to figure out how to cheat the game just to survive. And you don't want to miss any of these jumps, or else you go down, 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 and have to play half the level all over again. Level 4 is back to the top-down style. Now, I will say this is very much like classic Contra, how it alternates between standard side-scrolling levels and then some kind of different style, whether it be 3D or top-down. Strangely, it always happens on level 2, but the next time is either level 4, 5, or 6. In fact, if you take the first 4 Contras, not counting the Game Boy one, you get the numbers 24, 26, 25, 24. Mathematically, this sequence can be viewed as an oscillating pattern where every other number is a 2, while the intervening numbers follow a nonlinear path, 4, 6, 5, 4. You know what this means? Absolutely nothing. This level sucks. You're walking on a plane and you come to the edge of the wing thinking it's a dead end, but actually you have to wait for another plane to come so you can cross over. And you gotta do this across many planes. It has to be precisely when the wings touch tips, which is like 1 nanosecond. You gotta do it right when it happens or else you fall to your doom. Oh! It's never clear where you're supposed to go. I made it all the way to the cockpit, which is where this game belongs, but nothing happened. Level 5 is the final stage, making it a short game, but thank God. Hey, look at this dip. He fell down the missing stairs because I shot the stairs out. He's so familiar with it, he goes down those stairs every day. So then he's like, what the dumb drunken fool, down the stairs. When you die, you lose all the power-ups you've unlocked and your meter resets. So unless you're playing with pixel-perfect precision and are dodging everything coming at you, the upgrade system is pointless. Anytime you think you're finally winning at this game, something will rip the rug out from under you and kick you in the on your way down. If you lose all your lives, you go back to the beginning of the stage, which is similar to the original Contra. At least they give you unlimited continues. So your torture can be never-ending, like an everlasting stopper. Because if you were sucking a regular turd, it would be gone eventually. But not this. Anyway, I reached the final boss, and this guy jumps out of the helicopter from Super C. I mean, it's not an exact graphic swap, but it looks almost identical. This guy is a real mother. You gotta swap between all your characters to keep yourself going.
Well, in the words of Rambo, I'm gonna do it. Ah! I'm gonna do it. Yeah!
Finally, beat this son of a. So then you get an end screen which says you won, but you didn't win? Several things left unsolved. A suspicious figure is lurking behind him. What is it trying to say?
This game is rather profound. You know, to quote Orson Welles, the only difference between a happy ending and a sad ending is where you decide to stop.
In a nutshell, one that's been out by a squirrel, I'd say for a game like this, it is quite shocking they would market it as a Contra game. And to do this merely 6 months or so after Contra 3. I mean, it could have been a clever tactic if the game wasn't an abominable catastrophe of. And if you had Contra 3 sitting in your Super Nintendo system, why would you even go near this?
Contra or not, this game needed to cook in the oven a little longer. Yeah, just, a year or two, work out the bugs, put it out on Super Nintendo, and maybe it could have been a halfway decent game. Well, I'm going to do what Konami should have done in the first place.